Spoiler warning.
Pokemon Legends, Arceus.
I have to say, the more I play Pokemon and the more I talk to Walker about playing Pokemon, the more it jeopardizes our friendship because his shiny rate is so much higher than my shiny rate.
Fuck, I found 2 more last night.
Fuck you, dude.
Well, guys, it was a nice podcast. Me and Walker are no longer friends. That's the end. Goodbye.
I've got a box devoted to shinies. How does that make y'all feel?
Hi, and welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the Joystick Frequency, the podcast. It's also a video game book club. I'm your host, Trent, also known as Dragon, and joining me are my co-hosts, Walker.
I play with the game audio on, so I have a lot of shinies.
And Brady.
Hello, I play with the game audio off because I have attention problems and need to have something else on in the background.
You can do both. It's an option. You're missing out.
You say that, but it's not.
Being that this is the first podcast, we're going to do like a small just introduction about ourselves. I'm Trent, also known as Dragon. I'm a Twitch streamer. I'm trying to make something out of myself. I wanted to start this podcast because I felt like it's a good way to like get yourself out there and everything, and it's a good way for me to vent about all the video games that I've been playing and everything. So I wanted to do that. I'm also a pool technician, and I am a gamer. I am an achievement hunter. I probably have about 50 completed. Yeah. Capital G gamer. Probably have about 50 completed games.
How much of a gamer are you? Do you have the RGB lights in your full setup yet?
No.
You can't be a gamer unless you have the gamer lights. Everyone knows that.
Look. I was a gamer before the gamer lights became a thing, so I'm grandfathered in. That's what it is.
Okay.
Like we said earlier, we've been playing Pokemon for 2 decades, so I mean.
Oh, you said it again. Don't keep saying that.
All right, but yeah, that's me.
Hi y'all, I am Walker. I am just another dude who really likes Pokemon. I've been playing games since I was 3 and could hold a Game Boy and just have not stopped since. I love it so much I tried to go into the game development industry, currently working as a mobile developer, and I really enjoy playing games. I love the distraction, I love the story, cool colors, good controls. That's my thing.
Hey, I'm Brady. I am a middle manager at an undisclosed large corporation. Don't want to get in trouble for anything I say, so I'm not going to tell you where I work. I am also a big gamer. Don't have the RGB lights, so I'm not an official gamer, but I have been playing video games for nearly 20 years. Got a Game Boy on my 5th birthday and haven't looked back. Pokemon Ruby was my first game, so Pokemon is probably the most nostalgic franchise for me.
I just want to clarify, Brady. It's okay to tell them that you work at McDonald's.
Come on,
No,
man.
you have to.
It's okay to tell them that you flip burgers.
It's McDonald's.
Working the cash register sounds a lot worse than middle manager at a large corporation. So, shout out to all McDonald's workers. You do the world a service, and people don't treat you well enough.
So
how happy was your inner child when you first booted up this game?
Thrilled. I loved that it dropped you in, but it gave you the chance to still know shit. It's like transports you from the future so you don't have to go through all the boring, this is a Pokemon stuff.
Right. Yeah, I've been absolutely having a blast.
I don't think I had the reactions at the beginning. I think I was like, all right, cool, give me the good shit. I got in, I'm like, all right, cool. I heard this tutorial takes 2 hours. Let's get this over with. And then I got thrown into the first area. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna go see what I can do. I got hit by the first enemy that would attack the Shinx.
Yeah, right at the bridge.
I got hit by the first Shinx. I'm like, ow, that hurt. Do it again.
Discovering things about yourself.
And then I'm like, cool. And then I threw a Pokeball at it, bounced off its head, and it's just looking at me like with a blank stare on its face. And I fucked up before I finally like threw my Pokeball because I like. During the tutorial, I kind of like skipped a good portion of it. Like I just spammed through the dialogue mostly.
I skipped a lot of dialogue just because it drops you in and assumes you have knowledge of Pokemon, but it also does give you the boring walkthrough stuff that they always give you. It's like, no, I know how to use Pokemon moves. I know that. I've been doing this for 2 decades, my dude.
Oh, ow.
Yeah, that hurt a little bit to say.
Yeah, 2 decades of Pokemon, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
I've caught one shiny besides the scripted one, and it wasn't even a good one. It's a fucking Carnivine, which, one, the shiny form of Carnivine looks exactly like regular Carnivine, and 2, who is ever going to put a Carnivine in their party? It's a trash Pokemon for trash people. And if you use a Carnivine,
the Carnivine lovers out there.
Sorry.
Poor fucking Frederick.
Not sorry.
Brady, I guarantee you I can make a team with a Carnivine on it that would whoop your ass.
Probably. but that doesn't mean Carnivine's good. It means the rest of your team is better.
My one shiny was a Graveler. Golem was one of my favorite Pokemons, whenever first gen was the only gen that existed. So, that's pretty nice. Now he's not even in the top 100. But yeah, Walker, how many shinies have you gotten?
I've got 11.
Okay, so the Joystick Frequency is now looking for a third co-host. Me and Brady will be continuing with Walker. Will be stepping away from the project. It is a mutual.
You don't want the guy with the luck.
It is a
on
mutual
your side?
parting, and he will no longer be here.
It's nice having you, Walker.
Is it mutual between you and Brady? Is that what?
Yes.
Before we get into the real meat of this one, if you didn't read the title is going to be the Joystick Frequency Pokemon Legends Arceus. So if you didn't know, it's going to be about Pokemon Legends Arceus. But before we get into that, anyway, so what have y'all been playing lately? Before we get down to the real meat of the thing, let's start with Walker.
I have been playing like a handful of games, a lot of Pokemon, obviously. We'll get there. That has been most of my nights. But recently I played through a super fun indie platformer. I'm sure most of y'all know it by now. It's a short hike. Fantastic game. The title really says it. It's a short experience. I think I played it for 4 hours and beat it. I didn't complete it. There's a couple extra collectibles you can go through and play. But if you want to wake up one morning and just vibe for like 4 hours, it's a fantastic trip. It's a platformer. Basically, you're this tiny little crow. You come outside and you really have to make a phone call. But nowhere on the island has signal except for the very, very top. So you're going to have to go for just a short hike to get to the top and get on the phone, have a little conversation. I would highly recommend it. I played it 4 hours, knocked out a good majority of it. Absolute blast the whole time. You get the very basic skill of gliding. And as you go through, you can, by doing different side quests or just paying in a store, paying a little bit of money that you find, you can get these golden feathers, which allow you to scale walls, fly around the map. You can actually add a little bit of height to your jump. And yeah, absolute blast. Incredible game mechanic. It's very, very well done. Recommend it to anyone who gets the chance. It is on Game Pass. You can go check it out. 10 out of 10.
You and your girlfriend, the fiance, sorry. You and your fiance have also started playing the new Horizon game as well for a couple hours. I imagine we'll go into that a lot more next month.
It's been a joy so far. Played a decent chunk of yesterday, passing it back and forth. It feels just like diving back into that world, but I'll give you a more intricate review next month.
Yeah, we'll probably all be talking about it next month because I plan on playing not just that one, but also the original because I haven't played the original yet. So, but no better time than now. All right, so Brady, what about you? What have you been playing?
Yeah, shout out to Horizon Zero Dawn. I haven't played the new one yet, but I definitely plan to because that's such a fun world. Who doesn't want to fight a robot Tyrannosaurus Rex? The game I've been playing recently is Total War Warhammer 3. If you don't know what the Total War franchise is, it's basically a strategy game where you play as a nation in the history of the world, so like Rome or England, the Persians, all the different ancient empires of history. You play, you can manage your growth, send your armies out and fight in battles. The battles is where Total War really shines. You get to array your troops and do all sorts of different fun things.
So would you say it's like similar to like a civilization, the Civilization games and stuff?
It's very similar to Civilization. So it doesn't have like the hex tiles that Civilization does. It's just based on like the actual countries and regions in the countries. Also, it has a lot more of a focus on battles. Instead of just sending a unit after each other, you get to like put your troops in formations and like you can flank and do ambushes and all sorts of cool military tactics. It's definitely it's like Civilization if the focus was war, hence the name Total War.
Sounds kind of like a Civilization meets like StarCraft
kinda. Yeah.
Or like
similar.
a StarCraft like game where you control your units and can tell them where to go and stuff like that.
Very, very similar.
Okay, cool. I haven't played those games, so I was trying to get a premise of it.
So Total War Warhammer is set not in the history of this world, but in the Warhammer fantasy world, which is basically just every fantasy race and trope you can imagine all crammed into one. So Total War Warhammer 3 is based on demons invading the world. So you can play as one of 4 demonic factions. Khorne, which is the demons that are very angry and red. Nurgle, the demons that are very green and fat and sick and very tanky. Tzeentch, which is the blue demons that are magic-y and ranged damage. And Slaanesh, which is the sex demons. They're also very fast and do a lot of damage. Or you can play as Fantasy Russia, which is like real Russia but with magic bears that fight with them. Or Fantasy China, which is very cool. They have like giant war lanterns that are like basically those paper lanterns but big with guns on them, and they also have dragons that lead their armies. It is a blast.
guys can't
I
see,
have
or
been-
the listeners can't see this, but Trent's eyes just lit up when he heard that there was dragons, so he might be picking this game up.
Dragons.
I've almost finished my first campaign as Nurgle because I like being tanky and slow and patient. That's kind of my play style, so that fits really well.
All right.
Yeah, recommend it.
I might have to.
What about you?
Might have to try
What
it.
have you been playing?
Other than your standard League of Legends grinder that I am, unfortunately, it's a curse. Honestly, I believe it. But actually, last night, me and a friend of mine, we started a game called For the King, and it's a roguelike turn-based. I don't want to say like D&D-esque game, but like there are D&D elements of it and everything. And basically, you're thrown into this world, and you're told, "Hey, your king has been murdered. Go out and find who it was." And it's a call to action. You're just a random person. You're not an actual like hero or anything. Classes are based on like actual jobs. Like there's a blacksmith class. There's literally a hobo class that my friend bought last night, and we're going to try it the next time. There's a herbalist class and everything. So it's all like based on like actual jobs you would have had in this like during fantasy times and everything. So that's how you get your skills and stuff. I played a minstrel. And I was playing a battle bard, and I was doing damage. I was actually the carrier of the team, even though I died 5 times during that campaign and got resurrected. I was the only death until the full party wipe. But basically, like, as you, you're trying to grow and increase your power while also trying to do all these objectives, you go from, like, town to town doing bounty board objectives to, like, try and stop the chaos from happening. Chaos makes things harder. Like, the first chaos point that happens on the board will make enemies have 110% health instead of their normal health, and more enemies spawn in general. And so as chaos stacks, it just gets worse and worse. So you're doing all these side missions to try and reduce the chaos in the realm, while also trying to balance your side missions that do that with the actual story missions that you got to get through. But the story missions have, like, they're level gated, so the next story mission you get is like, oh, we're level 4. Oh, that's a level 6 guy. We cannot fight that right now, definitely. So you have to go and try and do side missions and balance it between having the world in chaos. You only get 3 lives unless you find extras in the world and everything. So it's like, I would say it's like a Civ. Kinda, whenever you go and do a battle, it's like you move your unit to this space and then you go into a combat instance where you actually fight things. The combat's real fun. You have different spells and abilities based on the weapons you use and everything. So like I had this one loot that gave me a dazing skill that was called Dazzle, where I just run up and kick someone in the boot while playing my loot. And then I get another one that's called Alto, that's armor piercing, that does a lot of damage, and it pierces through magical armor. There's a nice little balance to what you got to do. You can play with up to 3 people, but it doesn't matter. You will have 3 characters on the board that are controllable for you, no matter how many you're playing with. So I was playing as the bard and the blacksmith, while my friend was playing as a sorcerer, I think it was, or some sort of wizard, but it has like a standard town name. I can't remember what it was. An alchemist, I think, is what it was. And so we ended up going through, we're grinding our levels, we're leveling up and everything, and we ended up getting wiped at level 5 because we tried to fight the level 6 guy. We were like, we'll be fine. Then we got our asses handed to us. But I've never had more fun. I usually don't have fun losing in a video game, but that was a really fun experience. It was a lot of fun. Totally recommend it. I don't have much experience of it. We probably played a good 3.5, 4 hours of it last night. I hope to play more soon. And yeah. But anyway, I think that's enough of that. And I think now it's time we actually get to what we're actually here for. Pokemon Legends
Talk about
Arceus.
the Pokemans?
Yeah.
Pokemans.
Talk about Pokemans.
Who wants to start? First off, like, how is this game different from other Pokemon?
I was going to say, first off, what do y'all think? Just general thoughts.
Yeah,
what
just
did y'all-
general first impressions. I thought it was amazing. It's definitely way different than your standard Pokemon game, but I enjoyed that after, 7, 8 different generations of the same basic formula. It's really nice to get a little bit of a change up. I loved the feel of running around and actually physically throwing the Pokeball at Pokemon, and the element of danger to it, because, I mean, let's be honest, these things are insanely powerful creatures in the lore, at least. It's wild that there's a 10-year-old kid in every game that can just run around and not ever have to dodge a lightning bolt.
They tried to make it a little safer in this one. They said you were 15 in this one instead of 10.
Yeah, a legal adult at 15.
It's fine. We can kill a 15-year-old.
Well, back in feudal Japan, 15 probably was a legal adult.
He only had about 3 more years after that.
Yeah, the lifespan was, 22?
Times were bad a long time ago.
This game has been incredible. I honestly believe this is... When I first started playing, I booted it up, played it for however many hours the first night. Getting into the world and actually starting to run around post-tutorial, it is the game I always felt like I was playing when I was a kid. If that makes any sense at all, you go back and revisit, Red, Blue, Ruby, Sapphire, and they're good. They're so really, really good, but it's clunky. They're an entirely different experience. It's not the super smooth, super well built world. I mean, you look at the first games; they're held together with duct tape for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, especially whenever you like randomize literally everything in it, including the titles.
Oh yeah.
Then it's a little rough.
But going back and playing it now, this was the world I was seeing. I was running around in this giant open world, exploring all these new places. I was running into encounters with these new Pokemon, and it just felt incredible. This is the game I always felt like I was playing when I was a kid, and it feels good to be actually playing that game now.
I have a couple of like pros and cons to it. Like I would say this one is definitely a really good game, and it is probably in my top 5. I don't there are a couple of things that like bring it down for me a little bit. I've gone more into the post game than the other two, and we'll get into that and everything. There are just a couple of things that I had problems with it, but it like kind of makes sense for the timeline that it's trying to shoot. For instance, we'll go back more into the how battles work later on. But as for me, I was one of the people that was trying to like fill out the Pokedex as I was going, so I was constantly swapping out my party until I found the mainstay members that I had pre-built. And so I would go into these battles, and my Pokemon would be getting swamped because there are 2 or 3 on the field instead of the normal one that I'm able to use. And so that it got to the point where I would just have to sit there and grind actual levels on all of them for a couple. Like 30 minutes.
You found yourself having to grind?
Yeah, I actually had to grind a bit because
I must have played slightly differently than you because I never felt a need to grind.
Yeah,
I felt like I was
never
kept
had
up
to
for
grind.
most of the gameplay.
Trent was also 100%ing everything, so he had probably just your starter was the only one that was on your team for longer than like 30 minutes, right?
Yeah, so Cleaver was the first one I got that wasn't my starter. That was a mainstay of my team, and even then, like, I had the Scyther, and it took me a while to figure out how to evolve the Cleaver. In fact, I ended up going to a Walker for it. I don't think I asked him directly, but he like got a small hint from him or something before I even got Cleaver. But
some of the evolutions, we'll get to them, but there are some weird new evolutions.
But then like the jump from Cleaver to Ursaluna was really long, especially if like as you're going through, you're trying to find everything in the new area first before you go and do campaign stuff. And the couple of times I did have to grind were just because my standard party were not able to live long enough, and so all the XP ended up going to the people that I was going to be swapping out instead because I was using my party instead of the ones that I was planning on swapping. But like I said, we'll get more into the battles later on because there's one battle that I'm not happy with.
This game definitely had me team building entirely different than I would have in past games, especially lately as I've gotten older and, put more thought into the actual team rather than just picking up random ones I think look cool as I go. I would go into the game pre-built a team. Like I would know exactly what's going to be on my team, when I would get them, all that good stuff. This one, I tried to go in as blind as possible. I'm not sure what y'all knew going in, but for me, I only knew what was in the main trailers that were being released. So I kind of picked a little of this stuff out. I looked at the starter evolutions. I feel like that's something that a lot of people did because that helps me choose which one of those I'm going to take. But other than that, I just kind of let it naturally happen. I had 2 Pokemon on my team that stayed there for a while. Everything else kind of swapped in and out, and I was constantly changing my team.
Yeah, I went in pretty blind. I knew some of the, just like 1 or 2 of the new form. So I had seen the new Stantler form, and I had seen, I want to say, the new Braviary form.
Yeah.
Just from like the trailer. Neither of those ended up on my team. I went in very freeform, went in, obviously, we'll talk about starters. I chose Cyndaquil because Fire Ghost is an amazing combo. Yeah, so I think it's Joystick Frequency endorsed. That is the best starter of this gen.
Cyndaquil is in fact the starter.
Okay, hang on. I do want to fight for Rowlet. If Rowlet would have been regular Rowlet instead of regular Decidueye instead of this version of Decidueye, I would have gone with Rowlet.
Typhlosion Ghost Fire Typhlosion is still better than Decidueye.
I want to go back to what Brady said about Tarnivine earlier in the game and like throw that on Oshawott. If you picked Oshawott, you were bad and you should feel bad.
Oshawott's the hard mode.
I wish they had chosen a different water starter. Maybe Swampert If they had chosen a Gen 3 starter, I would have chosen the
Gen 3 already has Mega Evolutions. They had to pick something that didn't have another evolution. That's why they didn't pick anything from Gen 1 or Gen 3. I wish Gen 4 starters would have gotten another form here. Perfect time to do it, because, I mean, it takes place where Gen 4 is.
Yeah.
Well,
I would have loved
fair.
to have some new forms for those. But also, what I did for my team is I went through the campaign with a team, and I picked them up as I went along. And then once I finished the first main quest campaign thing, I got bored with them and replaced all of them except for 2. And on my current team has a Torterra on it.
Nice.
And I can't imagine a better type combo than the current Grass Ground Torterra combo. I just love that Pokemon. I mean, it's
Torterra's
weak to
a great
ice, but
It is very scared of freezing.
very scared of ice. But ice isn't the most common until you get to that one section.
Ice isn't common until at least
Until
after
it's
the
a fifth of the game.
Yeah, at least until after the 5th gen, almost every time.
Yeah.
Since we've kind of cracked into it a little bit, do y'all want to talk about the new Pokemon? That's kind of the generic
Yes.
starting
Yes.
conversation.
I can definitely start on
I've
that.
got Cerebi pulled up so we can walk through them all, but if y'all have any initial thoughts.
I mean, just my whole team. I like every time I go into a Pokemon game, especially if it's spoiled for me. Like y'all went in pretty blind. I had like all the mons spoiled for me. It was just like on an image that just popped up. He had nothing. It just had a spoiler tag on it. Like it was a Discord image, spoiler tag, no context whatsoever. So I'm like, it's probably nothing. Clicking, it's all the Pokemon. I'm just like, oh.
Literally everything.
It's literally everything. I'm like, oh, okay, well. So I went through and I made my team off that. So I ended up going with Hisuian, Typhlosion, Ursaluna, Cleavor, Sneasler, Braviary, Hisuian, Braviary, and what's the last one? I did have Hisuian Electrode on my team for a while until I got Goodra. And I have to say, I think they're all like really good mons. I had a lot of fun with all of them. They all like carried me at some point. Some of them have signature moves and everything, like Goodra's Shelter. The only reason I took that off is because I needed type variety. I had a crippling weakness to, what was it, water? And so I had to get an electric move, and I decided to put it on him. All of their signature moves are pretty good. Cleaver's Stone Axe is preferably one of my favorites because it's like Stealth Rock, but you still actually do damage with it. And it's like a pretty solid amount of damage. And
You ever see Stealth Rock in the actual game? They changed a whole bunch of moves.
Yeah,
Stealth
yeah.
Rock now does damage flat out, which surprised the crap out of me.
Yeah. Braviary is weak to rock. Because they throw out a Stealth Rock, I'm like, okay, this will be fine. And then I take half my health and damage. I'm like, oh shit, it does damage.
Not fine, red alert.
And I have to say, one of the best things in this game, take Bulldoze on your Ursaluna just to see the animation for it. Because nothing is funnier than a big bear standing up on its hind legs with its arm, like he's almost T-posing, and he's just going roar as he's jumping up and down 3 times. And it's beautiful. I fucking loved it.
So, funny thing about the Ursaluna I had on my team, it was shiny. When I was running through the Coronet Highlands, I know, I'm sorry, but it was the first shiny I came across. I come out of that first cave section, come around the corner, and there's like a field with a bunch of Ursaring walking around. Middle of the night, I see something green, and I'm trying to register what the heck I'm looking at, and then the shiny pop happens. Lose my mind, catch this Pokemon. When it evolves into Ursaluna, it gets these pale blue eyes that are very scary to look at. So when it does that attack that you just mentioned, where it stands up on its hind legs, and it has these like white eyes glaring into your skull as it hits whatever Pokemon it is. Horrifying, honestly.
I didn't get an Ursaluna on my team. I did get a Sneasler. It's not even a Hisuian. It's just a new evolution instead of Weavile. That thing slaps. I mean, I've always liked the Sneasel line because I like Pokemon that are fast and quick and can one-hit KO you before you get to move. The best status to deal to the enemy is death. So I was always going to get a Sneasler. But man, that thing hits and it learns Drain Punch from the tutor, which is,
Speaking of which,
don't even think about a psychic Pokemon though, because you will faint immediately.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's a scary one.
I think my Sneasler has tanked 1 psychic move the entire game.
Yeah, it would have to be like 40 levels lower to tank a psychic move, and it has to be Confusion.
So, would you say your favorite new Pokemon would be Sneasler, or do y'all have a favorite new Pokemon?
I mean, my favorite is the starter, obviously. I also very much like Zoroark.
Oh, yeah.
Hisuian Zoroark. I didn't get one on my team, but normal ghost typing slaps.
That's a super fun typing. I was really excited. I ended up not using the Zoroark on my team, but I did really want one when I first saw that trailer come out about it.
I hate how late into the game it was, because I feel like whenever they showed that one, everyone went insane. They're like, oh, we're going to get this thing ASAP. And then it's like, Alabaster Icelands, 5th place you go. Fuck.
Sure enough.
Yeah, literally the last zone. But man, you can't get hit with ghost type moves, which is Ghost's weakness. You can't get hit with normal or fighting type moves. Fighting, which is the only thing that's super effective against normal types. It's just
dark, and that's
Dark.
about it,
And
right?
that's
Yeah,
just a 2 times weakness. It's not even a 4 times.
it's a beast.
Nuts. Yeah, it's so good. I always hate it when the opposing trainer has one.
I think my favorites. I'm kind of stuck between Hisui and Gudra. I caught the alpha one that you catch whenever you're going through the 3 caves and everything. That was the one I caught, and I was like, finally, he's here! The Messiah's arrived, and my god, was he the Messiah whenever I got him. He tanked me through so many fights, so I'm stuck between him and Sneasler as well, because I love me a Poison-type Pokemon. Poison-type is one of my top 5 favorite types and everything. It might actually be my favorite type at this point, but as soon
I'm glad Sneasler's getting some love, because I thought he was goofy looking. When you first meet him in the Coronet Highlands, when you get the ability to climb with him,
yeah.
oh man, I was not feeling it. He looks
Let's
goofy.
let's talk about aesthetics for a second, because I think there are a lot of ones that look really cool and a lot that look really dumb. Ursaring or Ursaluna, Cleavor, Weirdeer look great. I love Hisui and Electrode because the fact that Pokeballs are made out of wood now and he has like that wood texture to him, amazing. Love that. Some of the Hisuian forms look silly, like Overquill, the dark poison.
Overquill is my
Qwilfish.
favorite of this new
I
generation.
wanted
I
one
fucking
so
love
bad,
Overquill.
but they
It's
look so
stupid.
dumb.
It's incredible. It is the most
Looks
ridiculous
so
Pokemon I've seen in a
dumb.
long
he
time.
he looks like a Jack. Like you go in and you play
Yeah.
Jacks on the like at school. He looks like a Jack. That's it.
Yeah.
Really said we need to make Qwilfish good. What do we do to make Qwilfish good? Qwilfish isn't good. More Qwilfish, and they just made it bigger and sharper. It's incredible. But to
Yeah.
get Overquill, it has a very dumb evolution method.
Oh yeah.
It's one that's kind of shared between a couple different Pokemon. You've got to use strong style version of its signature move a bunch of times to get it to evolve.
Was it strong or was it agile? I thought it was agile.
I think it's strong for Overquill, it's agile for Weirdeer, which I did not realize until late game. So I had a Qwilfish up to level like 60 by the time I was able to finally evolve it.
Yeah, he looks so goofy. What was the other one that I didn't like the look of? I like Gudra, Hisui and Gudra. The Dragon Steel typing is incredible. Always has been since Dialga. I don't like that he looks like a snail. I did not like that at all.
I thought Sliggoo looked really cool. I was not a full fan of Gudra because he looks so sad. Have you looked into his eyes? He knows pain, and it's what he's carrying on his back because it's so heavy.
That's okay. Mine's an alpha, so he has red eyes, so it's fine. He's inflicting that pain back.
Or he's bleeding out of his eyes.
Speaking of dumb looking forms, the new form for Palkia, the armless centaur, hated it.
I think Dialga looks great. They did
Dialga looks cool.
They murdered my poor boy. They massacred my son, Palkia.
Yeah.
Why does he look like a centaur?
The original one looks so much cooler. He looks so dumb.
I get that they were trying to make him closer to Arceus, right? Like that's the
Sure.
point.
Yeah.
You're trying to get him to look more like the weird deer god. But this is a biped, and you made it into a quadruped, and it does not transfer well. At least make him chunkier to make it work a little bit better.
Maybe put some of those weird spikes that Arceus has. Do that. Don't make him. He just looks so silly.
He's a goof.
So, going back to Sneasler real quick, I have to say though, Sneasler hands down best HM Pokemon because he puts you in a little box on the back, and you can just see your eyes peering out. You're fucking Nesco. You're from Nesco from Demon Slayer. You get Nesco'd, and it's fantastic. I love it.
I always hated using Sneasler, the HM, just because he doesn't move any faster than walking. So unless I'm going up a cliff, it's actually slower because you can't sprint. By the time I got Braviary, I used nothing else.
Yeah, I would use Sneasler to mount a couple of cliffs and then jump off, flip over to Braviary to launch up a little bit higher and go. It is fun to move in this game. It's really fun to move around.
Yes.
I did not think I would enjoy it so much, especially initially because the base walking and running, it's good. The dodge roll helps a little bit, but sometimes when you go up those inclines that are slightly too off and you slow down to like a quarter of your speed, it's just not enjoyable then. But as soon as you get Weirdeer, which I'm happy it happens really early on, it's so much more fun. You can just go.
Weirdeer is very good. I love the mechanic of like not even like an HM thing, just going faster as an HM Pokemon. Loved that. It's basically takes the place of the Bison.
Did anyone else limit test and start dodge rolling off the cliffs and everything to see if you would die?
Oh yeah. First thing I did was check to see if there was fall damage.
Fall damage. Always got to see if there's
there's fall damage.
Turns out there is.
But it's never enough to die. So I went to the top of Alabaster Icelands where that waterfall is. I rolled off the side and I landed. I'm just like, cool. My legs are broken. I'm still alive. Let's go.
Survive it. I thought it insta killed. Okay, my bad. I guess I didn't fully limit test it. before we get too far away from it, I'm going to do real quick ratings. Like it, don't like it. What do you think
Of all of the new forms?
of the new forms?
All right.
Growlithe line, the new Growlithe.
Growlithe, like. Arcanine, like.
I like both of them.
I agree.
Visually.
I think visually they look great. The story bit was incredible. I really enjoyed what they did with.
Yeah. The only thing I don't like is Fire Rock is really weak typing.
It is very weak typing, but
everything else they look amazing. They have some strong moves.
Voltorb and Electrode. Brady, you already told us that
5
you
stars.
enjoyed.
Love them.
I'm kind of neutral on this one, honestly. Like, I see what they were going for, but at the same time, I was like, I was looking for something like a little more. I don't know. Maybe they could have made it look more like an apricot, possibly, or something like that. But
I really liked Voltorb. I would give Voltorb 4 to 5 stars, but Electrode just doesn't do it for me. Something about it does not quite work. I think it's the mouth. It looks like a sticker instead of being carved. If it was a carved mouth, I think I would have liked it more, because there's a contradiction between the way the eyes are carved and the way the mouth's just like slapped on. It feels weird.
Yeah, I will say I like Voltorb better than Electrode, because Voltorb like has this like pained expression of him, and it's really funny because his like the only attacks they do that I've seen are they'll just like look at you painfully and then just explode. So I mean, I'm just like that fits. I like that.
Do you want to defend your child?
Electric typing is very good.
Grass Electric is that a new typing? Have we seen that before?
Yes.
I do really like
the
that.
only other one is Rotom lawnmower form.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, which that's a whole nother topic about the different forms of Rotom that I don't like. But
first, Hisuian starter and all of our starters. Typhlosion. How do you feel about him?
Yeah. He's good. He looks like he's just chilling. Like he just wants.
He is having the time of his life.
Yeah. Like he just wants snacks. That's what I said whenever I first saw him before the game even came out. That's what I'm saying now. He just wants snacks.
He does just want snacks. I was not feeling him at first until I saw the fire. I feel like the fire makes this Pokemon. The way it moves with like the
purple mane,
mostly like spiraling off fire.
Yeah, it's almost really like he's got like a not a cowl, but like a
mane.
Not a mane. It's like
collar.
The collar of his shirt goes like real high, makes him look kind of like more sinister, like kind of like how you see old fashioned vampires and stuff. Whenever they have a cloak, they have like that thing in the back that like makes them stand. Like makes their clothing just stand a little more.
Quillfish and Overquill.
Quillfish, no, because they just did a color palette swap. Really, nothing really different. Overquill, he's goofy, but I like him.
See, I'm the opposite. I like Quillfish. I don't like Overquill.
See, I'm with Trent on this one. The Quillfish looks good. It looks good. It's okay. It just looks like a Quillfish. Overquill, it's so stupid. I love it so much. Sneasel and Sneasler.
Sneasel, yes. Sneasler, definitely.
Sneasel, I like better than Sneasler.
I'm kind of with you. He's so tall. Sneasler is so tall and so lanky.
It looks like someone just like stretched an image up and yeah, he's just a dude with claws.
Just a dude with claws. Samurott.
I'm gonna say yes, based on the fact that I think this one looks better than the original Samurott. However, I still don't think it's a good Pokemon.
I think, keep in mind, Oshawott was my starter in Gen 5. I did play through with Oshawott. They did not change too much about Samurott to make me like him more. So I think it's okay. It looks good. Samurott's a good-looking Pokemon in general, but they just didn't quite do enough for me to really, really enjoy it. I'll still give it a thumbs up, but it's going to be like a 3 on the star scale.
Yeah. They didn't really change too much with Typhlosion or Decidueye either. Visually, they just kind of changed the color swap and they changed the way the fire worked.
Wait, they didn't change the Decidueye? What do you mean? They butchered my boy. Don't even. We'll get to that.
We'll get to
before we continue. I just want to point out the number jump between like the different forms here.
It goes from 215 to 503.
Jesus,
because that's their normal Pokedex.
It's like they didn't want to touch anything in Gen 3 at all
or 4 at all.
Well, again,
I like Samurott. Water Dark is a decent typing. It's just not like Trenta. They didn't, or like you said, Walker. They didn't change much.
Yeah, that's really what I felt. Next up would be Lilligant. What do y'all think of Lilligant?
Lilligant slaps.
Yeah,
I had one on my original team.
Lilligant.
I love how she looks. I love what they did with this Pokemon. Like it was really good.
I did not know about Lilligant at all. I had no concept of this Pokemon, so when I fought it as the main boss of that arena, I was completely caught off guard, and I just fell in love. It's a really, really good Pokemon, I think. I haven't used one yet.
Great
but...
Yeah, we'll get more into the boss battles later, because we're gonna go into the boss battles, because the boss battles are what make what I think makes this game. It takes it from like an 8 to a 10.
think we talked about them a little bit already. Zora and Zoroark.
5 out of 5. That one of the best new versions, I think.
I'm not quite as hyphy as they are, but like I do think it's good though.
Yeah, I do like Zora and Zoroark. I would think I'd put it like a 4.5 or a 5. They're fantastically done, and their shinies also fantastic.
Well, what does the shiny look like?
Yeah, tell us,
just
Walker.
Here, I will show you. Zora gets like a gray mane and turns blue on the tips, which is really nice.
Honestly, I like the shiny version better.
The shiny is really, really nice. And then Zoroark, very, very similar, but it goes purple instead.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, that's...
I think I like shiny Zora better. I think I like original Zoroark better, though.
They're both really cool.
They're both top tier for me.
I like them both.
Braviary. What do you feel about Braviary?
I liked him. He was fun to use and everything. He's probably the weakest Pokemon on my team, though, and so he is the sacrificial lamb anytime anyone has to die. However, aesthetically, they didn't do much to change him, but it's subtle enough to that I liked it.
Really like the psychic crest they added above his head. I think that works really, really nicely, but it's okay for me. It falls like right in the middle. It doesn't hurt to see, but it's okay. It's there.
I'll say this about Braviary. He flew me around, and that's all I thought about him this entire playthrough. I have no positive or negative feelings. I like that he flew me around. And I guess like the eye stuff looks really cool, but
fantastic shiny. He goes all black and gets the blue like psychic crest, which is
that looks
incredible.
So much cooler.
Sliggoo and Goodra. What do we think about the new slimy boys?
Sliggoo's all right. Goodra, my boy. I love Goodra.
I'm the other way around. Sliggoo, I vibe with Sliggoo. Goodra, again, like I said before, he looks so sad. I feel so bad for him.
The typing is insane. I love that. I'm very lukewarm to the visuals. Sliggoo looks like a snail, and Goodra looks like a squirrel. I don't like snails or squirrels. That's more of a personal thing. From a design standpoint, I think they did a great job. I just personally don't like them.
Avalugg.
I did not know enough about Avalugg to even notice that he had a form in this game. Not gonna lie. I usually skip over monotypes. Ice type is not that strong usually because everything it counters has usually a better type that is also good against it that has more Pokemon to pick from. So I usually I don't get ice types very often. And so I got into Avalugg and I'm just like, something seems a little off about him, but at the same time I was like, I don't know enough about this Pokemon. I don't know if he's any different. It didn't click until after the boss battle with him that I'm like, why is he the only one that is a boss that didn't get a new form? And then I went and Googled it. I'm like, oh, because it is a new form.
I like the new form. I like the new typing. Ice and Rock is a very interesting typing as long as you don't fight a fighting type. Loved the boss battle. One of my favorite boss battles, just from a scale standpoint, which we'll get into later.
Avalugg is good. I think they did justice to poor old original Avalugg because it was such an unremarkable Pokemon normally, but I feel like this is a much better form. Still don't think it's quite there. Again, it probably falls in like a 3. It's a good update though. I do like.
Yeah, they really just color changed his legs, but
yeah, I think the chin spikes are new.
Chin spikes are new, yeah.
And then Decidueye. You wanna go first, Trent?
My boy, they butchered my boy. First of all, why is his shiny regular Decidueye colors?
They did that with all the starters, though. That just changed them back to like their original colors.
But why? He would be 10 times better if you threw the original color on him as the normal and then did something else for the shiny.
I really like this coloration. I know you have more of an attachment to Rowlet and Decidueye than I do.
This is literally the reason I ended up choosing Typhlosion instead of Decidueye. I don't like the coloration of it. Other than that, I love the design of Decidueye, though. For what he is, he's a grass fighting type, so you can see he has the claws on his, what look like really strong legs. It's like those videos where you see the owls, they lift up. Yeah, they lift up the feathers where their legs are, and you see that, hey, they actually have legs. It looks like that, only they look a bit stronger and everything. He has the cool, poncho look, like he's a badass. He's not to be fucked with. And he has the old Feudal Japan hat for him. The coloration's what got me here. But other than that, fantastic.
I just like him. I don't have any issues with the coloration. The design is new and cool. The grass fighting typing, like I said with Lilligant, it's a strong typing.
If I didn't have sentimental attachment to Cyndaquil, I probably would have gone with Decidueye as my starter. Really like the style of it. The coloration works for me. Again, I love the inspiration, like the old Feudal Japan style hats and the cloak with the short feathers. I think it works really well.
I would like to take back what I said. That wasn't the final straw for me. The final straw was grass fighting, and then they introduced Sneasler, and I was like, oh, he's a poison fighting. Holy shit, I'm going this mon. That was the final straw for Decidueye. I want to point out, I think it's really cool because Hisui is supposed to be back in time. It's supposed to be before everything else. I think it makes sense that Decidueye is a grass fighting here, but in the future, he's a grass ghost. Fighting types wouldn't be able to fight ghosts, so it's like they all like kind of died off and evolved. Like the old ones couldn't fight the new ones. I think that's really cool.
Real quick, we have 6 of these guys. These are the brand new Pokemon. Those are all just forms that we were talking about. Yeah. So Weirdeer, how y'all feel about Weirdeer?
He's all right.
I mean, I'm not a big Stantler guy. Design-wise, love it. I think he's a great new Pokemon. I just didn't put him on my team.
He looks like Santa.
But I like him.
He does look like very Santa-y. I like Weirdeer. I think it's what Stantler needed. He needed an Evo. He needed something to make him even remotely worth mentioning. I like Weirdeer. Cleaver
was the one they showed, was the first one they showed to like try and draw people into this game, and they could not have picked a better new Pokemon to show off to pull people into this game. Cleaver looks so fucking sick. Scyther looked pretty dope because he has these blade forearms and everything. Well, Cleaver, he has these whole goddamn stone axes that he lifts on his arm. He uses to walk with them like gorilla style and everything. He looks badass. He looks like you don't want to fuck with it. And for that to be the first instance of like, hey, this ain't a usual Pokemon game. This is one where you're going to actually be fighting to survive. They couldn't have picked a better Mon for this. I love Cleaver. I think Cleaver might be my favorite new addition.
I can't object to anything you said. Cleaver is a really good new evolution for Scyther. I like the new typing. I think it's very fun. Don't want to fuck with Cleaver. Cleaver is a good, sharp dude.
My only complaint is that they had him really early on. I mean, I don't hate that they added him really early on because I get him sooner, but it just made him less scary to fight because he was lower level. And I think he would have benefited to being...
I think that's...
like in the fight, he doesn't even have his signature move yet. I wish they would have waited a little later so that he could shine even more than he already did.
I haven't done it yet, but you can go back and re-challenge the Guardians again. I don't know if they'll end up adding that or anything because, like, all the others had a signature move whenever you fought them. So
I've re-challenged a couple. From the ones I've re-challenged, it's the same fight. You just do it again.
Oh, okay.
Maybe Cleaver's different because he is
what about level?
Early on. Level was the same as far as I could tell. The ones I refought were the later ones. So I refought Electrode. It might not have changed anything because they were already super high level.
Unfortunately, because of the bug typing, which another one of my top 5 favorites, by the way. The problem with the bug typing is that has to be one that you throw at the beginning of the game because it doesn't make sense that you have all these high level bug Pokemon whenever they evolve at literally like level 10, level 17 and stuff like that. They're the lowest leveling ones, so you kind of had to have Cleaver first, unfortunately.
Well, I mean, Cleaver doesn't evolve like that.
Yeah, but
Cleaver evolves differently. But I mean, I get that bug type is thematically in all the Pokemon games an early level typing.
Yeah.
So that unfortunately does make sense.
Yeah, now we got Ursaluna up next. What'd y'all think of Ursaluna?
I love him. I just want a Curious Depression.
Love him.
He's so sad. I genuinely, if I did not run into the shiny, I probably would not have run into Ursaluna at all. He just looks sad. He looks very, very sad. They told my poor boy Ursaring that his dog died and he evolved into sadness.
Yeah. He's a chunky boy and I love him.
He's very good.
They added the ground type.
Yes, I do like the new typing. Basculegion. What do you think of our 2 forms of Basculegion, or little fish fairy boy?
Red one's definitely better, in my opinion, but I do want to say... Oh, they have different stats? Oh, that's crazy. Okay, the only reason this thing was not on my team is because Typhlosion is Ghost type as well. I try not to have multiple typings of the same on my team, and it wasn't even until late game that I figured this out. I like riding him. He is so fucking cool, and he has like the little jump, the extra jump that like he turns like this deep dark purple for a second to like he's letting out his ghostly powers and everything, and it's super fucking sick. I got a Basculin, and as I was trying to level him up, the way to evolve him is he has to take, I believe it's 294 damage and recoil damage without fainting in order to evolve. And the moves that he has to do that work really well. His signature move, I think it's called Wave Crash and everything, looks really sick in my opinion. Like, I'm not usually like very impressed with water type moves and everything, but like the Wave Crash one I really liked, and I really like this Pokemon.
Yeah, I've actually just been playing with Basculegion a little bit because I just was able to evolve one for my Pokedex. Catching a Basculin in this game is ridiculous. They run away so quickly. They're so timid. At least that's the experience I've had. I could not catch one.
I've had problems catching any like of the water Pokemon just because you can't sneak when you're surfing.
So a little hint that in case y'all didn't know, if you jump in the air with Basculin and then ready a Pokeball, it'll freeze for a second. And
you get that mid-air
That's
slither.
not my problem. My problem is even when it's frozen, I can't hit shit.
Oh, okay, you're just bad.
I keep
I
missing.
do feel like when you're surfing,
just
the
bad.
aim changes a little bit. You have to
The aim does change a
higher
little
or
bit.
lower than you normally would.
Yeah.
Overall, yeah, I do like Bascule Legion. I do like the
he's
two
great.
different forms. I think they both look good. They're pretty cool.
Great new
Sneasler, we've talked about at length about
Yep.
Sneasler and Overquill.
Yeah.
There's one more Pokemon who is post-game,
Yeah.
which I don't think, Brady, you would have gotten to yet. Do you want us to talk about it or no?
Talk about it, yeah, for sure.
Okay, I haven't gotten to it yet either, but I don't mind. I've already seen it. So,
yeah, I've already.
Trent, you'll have to
Once
talk
I got
about
into the game, I started looking at stuff.
All right.
But there is a new Force of Nature, I believe is what the trio is called. It's called Enamorus. I'll open up its two different forms. We've got whatever its Therian form, I believe, where it's floating on top of the thing, and then looks like a turtle-looking one for its other form over here.
I think I like this Pokemon, especially like the turtle form. I love turtles in general, and the fact that he has like what looks like a snake growing on his back and everything, I think that's really cool. I don't like the little like eyebrow whisker hat thing that he has going into a heart at the top. Like we get it, you're supposed to have hearts everywhere. We get it, you're the one of spring, yada yada yada. But I don't think it needs that. Overall, I like the turtle form. The other form is all right. It's it's what you would expect from another genie form of one of these Pokemon, especially one representing spring. So, I mean, it makes sense. So, I'm not going to fault them for it. They did all right on it.
I think it's okay. I'm not fully sold on it. Granted, I'm not a big fan of the genies in general, but it works.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like Walker. I'm not a huge fan of the genies in general, but maybe just because I've played a lot of Pokemon Showdown, and some of the genies show up in that a lot and wreck your shit. But I mean, this is I like the turtle form. I think it's a interesting typing for a legendary fairy and flying. Yeah, I think it's a good addition.
All right, and that covers it for all the new Pokemon that we have in this game.
I want to ask, like, just real quick off the top of your head, are there any Pokemon that you knew of beforehand that you got into this game and you're like, all right, they're one of my favorites now, just based on how this game is? Because for me, the one comes to mind, and Brady's going to hate this answer, because it's Weasel.
Weasel's really cute.
I love Weasel. He kind of like does a Sue thrust whenever he goes into battle every single time. It's adorable. And my favorite thing is I was waiting for night to fall for the Manaphy quest and everything, and so I just like had the Overquill of the Weasel and whatever the Mantike out in the water and everything. The Weasel's sitting there playing with his tail and everything in the water and everything. And I'm just like, I love this Pokemon so much more after this game now.
Let me talk about Buizel for a second, because Buizel was okay. Buizel was on the higher end of average for me before I played this game. Now Buizel is one of my least favorite Pokemon for two reasons.
One, Weasel?
I got a better look at his little life vest, which I just aesthetically I don't like it. Also, that freaking quest that you get where you have to catch a Buizel that's a certain height.
Hey,
Took me no less than like 50 Buizels.
Hey, Brady, that's kind of a hint that it was supposed to push us. You're supposed to catch an alpha version of Weasel and take him there.
Cool. To this day, have not seen an alpha version of Weasel.
You haven't looked, bud.
I Googled, because I got so frustrated with this quest, I Googled where to find alpha Weasels, and for several tries, kept grinding that area, refreshing it, trying to find an alpha. To this day, have never seen an alpha Weasel.
I didn't. So because I started falling in love with Weasel, I didn't go look for an alpha one either. I ended up catching them in like 30 or 40 Weasels as well. I just used it as a way to get the Pokedex entry done for him and everything, and then I found one and got that quest done. But I see me and Brady have different ideas on Weasel now. But yeah, so Weasel's the one Pokemon that comes to mind for me that I'm just like, I love this Pokemon more now that I've played this game.
The Pokemon I like more, and Trent is actually not going to like this, but I already liked this Pokemon going in. It was always one of my favorites. It has cemented itself even more so because I get to see it in the overworld and throw it out of its Pokeball, and that is Espeon. You can catch an Eevee pretty early in this game, which I did, and Espeon has always been my favorite evolution, and the fact that I get to have one that just follows me around like a pet 10 out of 10, would buy again. Love Espeon. And he's super strong in this game because he's fast, which speed is a huge factor in Pokemon battles now.
Yet another reason why Brady's not a real gamer. One of his favorites is an evolution.
Mine is just straight up Eevee. Do not bully the evolutions.
Oh, look at that!
What?
Eevee is one of the coolest Pokemon, and all the evolutions are amazing. And you can fight me if you disagree.
Vaporeon.
Brent's mainly just upset because
Vaporeon,
there's this video
Jolteon,
online
Espeon, Umbreon.
There's a video online for Noggin where he created another Pokemon to like be the counterpart to Eevee. That's a really cool lizard, and that doesn't actually exist. And that's the main reason Trent hates Eevee at this
Oh,
point.
no, it's not. I hate Eevee because Eevee can't literally decide. Like, I've been fucked over by evolution so many times. I've gotten Sylveon so many fucking times when I meant to get the other ones in other games, and it just.
Oh my gosh!
Plus, I'm not trying to be part of the mainstream. Literally, everyone and their mom's favorite Pokemon is Eevee.
Oh, there's a reason for that. It's cute.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I guess.
New mechanics.
New mechanics. Do you want to talk about some of the new stuff?
Man, there's so much to go through.
Where do we want to start? Where do we dip in?
Let's start with battles. That is one of the biggest parts of any Pokemon game. Let's talk about what's new with battles.
Battles are now so much more fun than they used to be, in my personal opinion. I know the strategy and the style has changed, but oh my god, I'm so happy it's so seamless. You can go in, you can run away so much easier. Everything is so much more quick now. I do like the fact that it's now based on speed. I feel a little bad that it's gimped some Pokemon, but typically slower Pokemon are tankier anyway, so they can take the first hit and then dish out massive damage afterwards. Yeah, I've really been enjoying it.
So, a couple things. First off, battles are no longer turn-based. It's just a speed thing, which I like the turn-based battles and the strategies that I've been able to do for years with the turn-based battles. So I don't like the new battle system as much. I do think it's a great and very creative new way to do things. It's a fun new mechanic. I just hope they go back to turn-based battles for the next game, because I hated sending out a slow Pokemon and getting hit 3 times in a row before I could do a single goddamn thing. Agile style quick attack, Brave Bird, strong style Brave Bird, and then my Pokemon's dead. Staraptor hurts a lot.
Just run away. That's the thing. You can run away so much easier now.
You can't run away from trainer battles.
There's only like 3 trainer battles in the game.
Actually, so after you beat the campaign, like the first part of the campaign, if you go to the training dojo and talk to the ship captain guy, you can fight trainer battles, and it's a great way to grind experience. But one of them has a Staraptor that has screwed me over. And also, you can't switch in a new Pokemon anymore. Like you can, but it like takes a turn in battle. So
I've never had that happen.
You can have. I've had my Torterra out to defeat a Pikachu.
That also
they
depends
send in
on
a
speed.
Staraptor and immediately Brave Bird before I can do anything.
Yeah, that's also depends on speed.
That I don't like. I also experience has changed, where instead of getting experience after you defeat a Pokemon, all experience is dished out after the battle.
Yeah,
that's one of
some qualms with that.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest issues, because I'll sit there and I'll use the Pokemon, because you still get more XP. I'll use the Pokemon I'm trying to level grind, and then he'll die, and then I'm like, well, he's not going to get any XP now. So
pop a revive real quick.
That's a really good
idea. We're gonna go into a lot more about the crafting and how, oh my god, I did not have enough fucking revives for this goddamn game.
Buy them?
Yeah.
What?
Why would I buy them when there's some guy that charges me $100,000 for a bag slot?
Don't buy all the bag slots. It becomes a point where it's a bad investment.
What do you mean don't buy all the bag slots? But one item could be the difference between you living and dying.
That is marketing, and it's affected you. Congratulations.
One last thing about the experience before we move on to the crafting mechanics. My Typhlosion actually ended up a little underleveled towards the end of the game compared to other people, because he would go in and kill 5 out of the 6 trainer Pokemon and then faint on the last one and not get any experience for the whole battle. Even though he did most of the work, he just fainted right at the end. So that upset me a little bit. I realized that I probably just need to change my perspective a little bit from previous Pokemon generations. A lot of my complaints could just be me being set in my Pokemon style and not adapting enough to the new way things work, but it still frustrated me quite a bit.
One of the issues I had with it is they scaled the damage that moves do in this game high, and to compensate for it, instead of like scaling the health, it feels like they just tacked on like set amounts of health instead. Because for instance, I'll send out a level 60 something going against a level like 30 something. They'll use like a regular quick attack on me, and then for some reason I'm taking 40 health and damage Why?
Do you have super frail Pokemon as your main? I
didn't run into that too much.
Granted, I don't really fight Pokemon anymore. So that's
there you
the main
go.
thing. I'll
There you go.
primarily focus on the new sneaking and stealth, and I'll do the overworld catching rather than battling.
Well, yeah, but if I've already caught everything, then if I've caught it, I'm just like, okay, I'll battle it because I need. I'm going for the XP candies and the other items.
There is something else, which is I'm assuming you're fighting alphas to grind for the XP stuff.
Oh no! I'm not talking about alphas. Like I'm talking about like just regular old Pokemon. Like I'll be going against a regular Eevee. Like I was 10 to 20 levels up on it, and it's doing 40 damage to me on a quick attack, which I feel like is a lot. And like it's not using agile. Oh well, agile style would make it do less. It's not using strong style or anything. It's just I'm getting whopped by fucking small Pokemon that I'm just like, okay, I know I'm gonna kill you in one hit, but still, ow.
Speaking of agile and strong style, there are new types of moves or new ways to use your moves.
What do y'all think
in
of that?
this gen, which is strong style, which is increases the power of your move by, I want to say 1.5 times, right?
Feels
Something
like
like that. In exchange for taking 2 power points and lowering your speed for the next round. And agile style, which increases your speed for the next round, but does half damage or a little more than half damage. I loved it. I didn't use it too much because I think they're better as situational tools. But I liked the extra strategy that you could put into battling.
It made me have to have the turn order up at all times just to see what options I had and everything, because I had a lot of problems with what Brady said earlier is he'd be hit 3 times before he could move or stuff. There are times where I'm strategically trying to calculate how to beat this battle and everything. And then I'll do exactly what I'm going to do, and then they'll send out another Pokemon that still somehow gets 2 attacks on me, even though I just used Agile style, and I'm just like, this makes no sense. There are times it just doesn't make sense. It needs a little bit more clarity, I think, is what it is.
I do
Yeah,
think
they took away
more.
turn-based moves, but didn't give you clearer indicators of how turn order would be changed if you did agile or strong, and I think that could have helped.
I feel like for all the tutorialization that this game had, a little bit extra battle would have helped, at least for what's changed.
Yeah,
I had the turn order menu open at all times, pretty much though.
Yeah.
And I was doing the exact same thing. I agree with Brady though. I feel like while I don't use them that often, unless I'm just trying to guarantee something dies or I'm trying to get a little extra speed, the little extra bit of strategy that you can do to I'll agile style this turn, then I'll swap to a different move, then do strong style so I can get the second hit in a row and be able to just get that little extra damage needed. I feel like it was really, really well put together. Works for the new battle system really well.
Both of y'all have caught Giratina, yeah?
I have.
I have not.
Have you gone to try yet?
Yeah, I tried to fight him once.
Oh, okay, good. So I can talk about Volo.
Yeah.
That battle with Volo.
Talk about Volo.
That battle with Volo is fucking brutal, because no matter what you do, you're gonna lose 3 of your Pokemon in that battle unless you're significantly over leveled. And then you go straight into a regular Giratina, which is faster than literally everything, has 2 turns on you at least for almost everything, that has 2 health bars. Because you knock him out once, and then all of a sudden, not only is he his attack stronger now, he might be a little weaker defensively, but he's also a little faster. Hey, guess what? You're dead.
I want to talk more about Volo in a minute specifically, but as for Giratina, Volo pretty much wiped my team. I had 2 pokes going into the last, the Giratina fight, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm fighting Giratina now. That's pretty cool. Surely they're going to give me that real quick heal that some games do, or they'll heal you before the next boss. No, they absolutely do not. I went in with 2 pokes, one with half health, and the other was just some random dude I was training on my team. I don't remember what it was. So I had 1 fodder Pokemon and 1 about to die, and that was the fight of my life. I used so many revives. In this game, I've used more health potions and revives than any other game in the past franchise.
So you did it in one try?
Yeah, I did it first try.
Oh, okay.
Barely.
I figured out in this game, it's just because of the strong style being a threat, it's almost useless to use battle items in battle, is what I found for a lot of things. And being that it's Giratina, I was like, well, this is definitely one of them that's going to be, there's no use in me doing it, because he's going to one-shot literally anything. So every time I went in, died to second form Giratina. I think I died once to first form Giratina, because I just had a bad Volo fight. Fucking restart, do it again, slowly like swap out who I'm keeping alive strategically, like who I'm sacrificing this guy in the Volo fight so that these guys could get XP and level up. And I literally did that probably 7 or 8 times in a row before I was like, you know what, I'm going to finish the Pokedex, goodbye. Came back with like 10 level, like my Typhlosion was 86 at that point, I think. And I'm like, all right, you're fucking dead now, kid. Send out my Ursaluna, who's 80, who can wipe 4 of Volo's party. Take out the last 2, and I had like 4 Pokemon going into Giratina, who he still killed all but my Typhlosion, by the way. And then I one-shot him with my Typhlosion strong style.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, what's your experience then, Brady?
I beat Volo with like 2 Pokemon left, and I was every other battle. It seems like they heal you immediately after any kind of boss battles in this game. They don't take it too hard on you usually, so I was not ready. I agree with Trent that I don't really use battle items very much, I never use battle items because that's just find them boring.
They don't use it. They're not allowed to use it in pro, so I mean, I might as well not use it here. It's just practice.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the whole new ballpark, guys.
Yeah, no, we're not talking about my normal Pokemon
or anything like that. But boy, I needed to heal a lot.
Yeah,
maybe that's why I had to grind some. Y'all were healing, I wasn't.
I wasn't healing.
Okay.
I didn't try.
You also did swap your team.
I need to grind.
Yeah, you also
did swap my team, so my team was a little underleveled.
I want to talk about Volo specifically real quick. I was disappointed with Volo. I get what they were going for. They wanted to redo Cynthia, make you feel like you're fighting Cynthia again.
Oh, okay, good.
From that perspective, it worked. He needed different members on his team. He needed to have a different setup. I'm okay with him having a Togekiss and a Garchomp, but him having the carbon copy team of Cynthia kind of felt...
He had the carbon copy, but one Pokemon. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but there was one Pokemon I was like, Cynthia didn't have that. You want him to be Cynthia, but at the same time, you don't want him to be Cynthia? What are you going for here?
I was a little disappointed by his battle theme, too. His music wasn't that great. I know y'all didn't play with much of the volume, but...
Aesthetically, though, Volo looked like a badass going into that final fight.
Oh, I fuck with Volo. Volo's hot. I'm down. I'm Cynthia eyes.
I will say, at the beginning of the game, like, I saw Volo, and Walker can attest to this. I was like, Volo's gonna betray us in the end. There's no fucking way or something. Like, Volo's gotta be bad or something like that. And Walker was like, nah, Volo's a good guy, a good boy. And then the end of the game came, and I go up to the shrine, I'm like, all right, Volo hasn't betrayed me yet, so it's either here or now. And then he's like, all right, let's fight. Yep, saw this coming.
I expected Volo to betray us, but I also expected almost every NPC to betray us. The only one that I didn't expect betrayal from was Benny, the restaurant guy, that actually did end up betraying me.
Not Mochi Man.
Fucking that was insane, actually.
That was one of the tougher battles too. He was
I was caught completely off
very
guard by
good.
That one.
Yeah, actually, I didn't have a hard time with Benny. I think like 3 of Benny's were weak to a certain type. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but like I had that type, and I was like, okay, I just steamrolled this guy. But yeah, like, did not see Benny coming, did not see the commander ousting you kind of thing mid-game. That was pretty insane.
Let's do full story right now.
I feel like there wasn't much. I feel like the game was, hey, here's a bunch of story stuff to get you filling out the Pokedex and exploring these areas. Oh shit, guys, we didn't actually come up with an actual story here, and we have like, what, 10% of the game left? Well, here, let's just do all this. That's
been Pokemon lately, though.
I mean, that's been Pokemon forever, right? I mean, Pokemon has never been...
like, Team Rocket showed up a lot during the original gens. There was a lot of Team Aqua, Team Magma interaction in Gen 3 and everything. But it's been lately that Pokemon's been like, hey, we have this Pokemon game. Here's a little bit of the story. Hey, we're rushing all the story at the end.
Yeah, okay. That's fair.
I looked at it a little bit differently. The overarching story, I fully agree. They talked about it a little bit at the beginning, and then obviously the last hour and a half is just like blitzing the main story, like what they're trying to go through. But I really like that each individual region had its own story. The most prominent in my mind being the coastlands, the Cobalt coastlands, when you had everything with Arcanine and Growlithe. I thought that was handled really, really well. That was the most I've cared about the story in a Pokemon game for a while.
I also like the Pearl and Diamond people in that.
Oh yeah.
What y'all think of the new characters?
They're not gym leaders, but they're basically gym leaders.
They're Arena,
the caretakers.
So we have the standard leaders. We have Arena and Adaman. That's Pearl to Diamonds, respectively, being the leaders. Arena's definitely a waifu at this point. I loved her. She was great. Adaman is probably my...
Bondo, let's be honest.
Adaman's probably my favorite character out of this game, honestly. I loved Adaman. It was so hard to choose at the end who I was going to follow and everything, but the power of the waifu ended up winning out for me, unfortunately.
When we got to the end and had to choose, I actually looked it up to see which boss you'll fight because I had seen the Palkia final form and wanted to get the other one and do anything I could to get the
I
other
wanted
form.
to do the same thing, but I tried to do it backwards because I ended up fighting Dialga and getting Palkia early, which I was okay with. The final Dialga looks incredible.
You get both.
The Obsidian Field lands had what were the two representatives
that was
there?
The old lady who has like the
No,
weird thing.
no, not the Obsidian Field lands. That was Crimson Mire lands. I had the
Oh shoot, sorry. There's Munchlax's girl and
Cleaver Boy. That's the Western Mineral Cleaver Boy. I can't remember what his name is and anything, but I thought both of them were good. What did y'all think?
They were okay.
They weren't there for much or anything, but I still enjoyed them. Then the next region, Crimson Mirelands, we had Commander Mars. We had Commander Mars from the original game. What's her name in this one?
As it's A something.
I believe her name is Hair Person.
Yeah, she ends up becoming the hairdresser, which is great.
I really like her. I really enjoyed her character.
Yeah, I liked her.
I loved that.
I liked the old lady as well. That took care of Ursaluna.
She was okay.
Speaking of Mars and how she becomes part of Jubilife City at the end, I loved that as you progress through the story, the town grew up and built up around you.
Yeah.
It went from a collection of huts to pretty much a city, and I loved that.
Which made it hurt all the worse when they threw you out at the end. Yeah. I felt so betrayed when they're like, no, you know what? This is your fault. I'm like, I just got here. I've been helping you this entire time. You think it's my fault?
See, I understood actually. I understood what the commander was thinking and everything. So that's why. So that gave me a drive. All right, I'm gonna prove to him that he's wrong about this. Though I understand where he's coming from, but I'm gonna prove that he's wrong, and I will come back home. This is my home. So Cobalt Coastlands had Lena, another waifu, and what's the bald guy?
Cat guy. I don't know his name, but I liked him a lot.
I loved him.
Yeah.
He was great. I loved the romance between those two.
Yeah, they were both great. Then after that, Mount Coronet. So
we found Ingo again. How do y'all feel about Ingo coming back?
Ingo, he's been here before? Okay, so that's something I missed. Okay, so that's why I was confused about him. Okay, so
Ingo is another time traveler. He comes from Gen 5. He's one of the battle masons. He's on the train. He's one of the the frontier brain kind of people.
Oh, is that
he has a brother who looks almost exactly like him. So that's who he talks about in the game when he's like, "Oh yeah, I remember someone who we used to look alike or we used to battle together."
Okay.
So he got pulled literally out of Unova.
Yes. Yeah, so that was Gen 5. Is that regular or 2?
I think they're in both.
Okay. I did not catch that. I felt like something was off about him that I probably should have clicked or anything, but I was not sure what it was. Okay, so
I recognized him, but not enough.
That makes me like Ingo more.
Feels like they went through and okay, who's a character that would not be detrimental if we removed him from his game? What would not mess up the timeline too much? Oh, random battle subway guy. Sure, he's got a weird pose he does.
Yeah, I liked him. He was really good. And then we come to the most hated character of the entire game, Melly.
Hey, I despise Melly.
I did not like him.
Yeah,
some people love him. I get why, but oh my god,
that is the worst
archetype of character.
I hate arrogance. I hate that fucker.
I hate that this is an archetype in the Pokemon games. There are a couple of rivals that do this better, I think.
Yeah,
like Gary and Silver, where they act like they're better than you, and then you kick their ass, and then they still act like they're better than you. It's dude, I just wiped you with one Pokemon. Calm the fuck down. You're not that great.
Yeah, Melly is just so unlikable. I've never wanted. I don't often want to commit murder in a Pokemon game, but this guy annoyed me so much. I was this close to being can I murder this fucker?
Did not like Melee at all.
And then the last one, Alabaster Icelands. We had
the psychic girl.
Yeah.
I don't know. She was interesting. I wish we had a little bit more time with her.
Yeah.
Because it feels like there's something going on there.
Yeah.
But
I thought it was less like she was psychic and more like she just pretended to be psychic using things she already knew, which was fun because she was also a younger character.
And then,
so a younger character being playful and messing with you worked.
Yeah.
And then shirtless guy, one of my favorite.
Irina's a trainer or something like that, her.
The noble protector,
her mentor,
whatever it is.
Yeah, and he's this buff dude that's wearing has a shirt off in a fucking snowstorm. He's trying to look all badass, and I'm just
he shaves his chest hair every morning to be the perfect Pearl Clan symbol.
Yeah, the entire time I'm just this fuck's trying so hard. Yeah, I'll bet you he's freezing. He's just not letting it show.
He's buff because he shivers so much.
Yeah,
it works his muscles.
Really enjoyed Silene as a character. Honestly,
yes,
I feel like the little bit of
you don't get much of her
that we get with her is really good.
Yeah, you don't get much with her.
Yeah.
The entire time you think, okay, she's just the interaction for when you level up the Pokedex and everything. And then she actually comes out and like fights for you a little bit at the end. And you're just like, okay, like, let's go. This bitch. I love her.
Yeah.
The commander was good character. He was a nice like foil to you.
Komodo was okay.
Volo kind of stole the show a bit.
I liked everything from Volo except for his outfit. His final outfit during the battle is so dumb.
Really? Okay, so
yeah.
If you
specifically the hairdo, it's specifically the hairdo that I hated.
So it kind of reminds me. You look at all the pillars and everything. It looks kind of like Greek architecture and everything. So like whenever he came out with his outfit and he looked like that, I was like, okay, he looks kind of like Hermes, like what I imagine a Hermes would look like with bolts of lightning on him as well. Like he is the actual like messenger for Zeus kind of thing. I was like, I dig this. I like this outfit. Other than that, any other characters? I don't think there were any other characters that had a really massive impact.
The witch lady.
Oh yeah,
whose house she's staying.
I loved her. I thought she was fantastic.
Yeah,
I like
Colette,
her.
Not Colette. It's something like that.
Cognita or something like that.
Yes,
Cognita.
I really enjoyed her.
Yeah, I kind of wish like she would have like there would have been more to her. She's she knows all kind of thing, and she like you don't get her until the end of the game after you've been kicked out and everything, and you find her and she has like the answers for you to go where to go and everything. She's
felt like her and Volo combined
Cynthia
were like the two parts of Cynthia.
Yeah,
it was really what it felt like.
Yeah,
one more focused on general lore of the region, the other one more focused on one specific regional lore. Really enjoyed the character. I think the story was really good. Again, hated being ousted, but it felt like it worked really, really well. I dug it. I was in for the story. I think the way they handled music in this game was really, really good. They took kind of a lot of inspiration from Breath of the Wild, where as you're journeying the world at first, a lot of the music is like broken and scattered and it's very natural. But sometimes you'll hit certain areas that are familiar. And then the music, the theme song will start playing. You get to the area where Eterna Forest is at, you'll get the Eterna Forest theme from, it just like updated a little bit. Obviously you see this in Jubiloth City. I'm sure y'all heard that every now and then. So I think the way they did music as you're exploring the world is really good. The final boss theme fucking slaps. It's one of the best music tracks in any of the Pokemon games. Honestly, only like the Battle Tower from Sword and Shield kind of rivals it a little bit. It's really, really good. If y'all get a chance, I'll send you specifically the Dialga Palkia final boss theme. Good shit. What did y'all feel about the map? Did you like it being split up into the different regions? How would you have preferred it, if any changes?
I did. There were a lot of things that I saw that I'm like, oh shit, this is Gen 4 right here. Things like the Cobalt Coastlands. I went down to the fingers first. That's what I called. And I'm like, wait a second. This kind of like looks like, because that archway is in Platinum, at least I know, whenever you go from Vulcaner's Town to the Pokemon League. And I'm like, oh shit, now if you think about it, this is exactly where the Pokemon League leads. You go straight across the Cobalt Coastlands towards the volcano to get to the Pokemon League. And like that was really cool for me. The whole temple was really cool. The temple's where
Snow Point Temple.
Yeah, where you find Regigigas. It felt like how it did in the games, only like 3D. The whole Jubilife City into
Jubilife Village and the Jubilife City.
Yeah, that was all there, and like you get names that like you can't quite remember. Then they click for you, and you're like, "Oh shit, that was from Gen 4. Like that's what this is and everything."
Yeah,
and like there were a lot nice little nods to Gen 4. Enough to where I'm not as pissed about the Diamond Pearl remakes now.
I really like the legendary lakes, the Mesprit, Uxie, and Azelf lakes.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
That was probably my favorite part, where the geography is a little different than the games just because it's a different medium, but they had enough landmarks like the lakes and the temple and Mount Coronet and all the other places that you could kind of feel where you were in the future games while you were playing this one, and I really like that a lot.
I do hope, though, that if they continue this style of gameplay in the future, that it does shift. Either they do more areas per game or they do just one giant open world. I feel like a giant open world would be really, really good, where they progress gate it with the different HM writable Pokemon, and it would be, I feel like that would work incredibly well.
I like the areas. I wish they had been more of them, or at least more diversity in the ones they had, because the biggest diversity was from like regular plains to a forest in the first one, and then the second one was just there's a lot of water and a volcano, or just all marsh or ice. and a mountain.
Yeah.
And like I would have liked a little bit more diversity in the landscape.
So this is just me throwing out a little theory real quick. So I think like where the Pokemon League is in Gen 4 is not quite formed there. So I have a theory that like eventually that volcano erupts and like creates the landmass that becomes the Pokemon League plus that side area that you get to post game where you usually catch Shaman.
Yeah, I fully believe it.
Could the volcano be like the post game area in Gen 4 where like you go and you find Heatran and you go to that island and do like the post game battles?
Maybe if
I
it
felt like that's where the
way
volcano
up there.
Yeah, I want to say no, and I've got a reason we'll get back to later about that. I think that area, it's what is it called? It's not the wild area. It's something like that, though. I feel like the battle zone. That's what it is. The battle zone does exist in Arceus currently, like during that timeline. I think that is potential DLC areas because if you look at the map, there's a nice cloud perfectly covering up that top area where the battle area normally is. So I feel like it's a potential DLC location.
The only thing I'll say to that is Heatran, because Heatran you find in that volcano in the battle zone. And here you find Heatran in the volcano in the Cobalt Coastlands. Yeah. I think they might have shifted the map a little bit to account for the fact that they didn't want you surfing 3 miles across the water.
And if you,
but I could be wrong.
So Walker, you've gone to catch Giratina already, yeah? Mm-hmm. That is actually like almost pinpoint, like right where you catch him in the Gen 4 games. Not Platinum, but Diamond and Pearl. Like that little side path.
That's Springs.
Yeah. I thought that just occurred to me. I'll sum this next point up real quick. Good luck finding all the unknown. They're fucking
already did.
They're fucking difficult. I haven't done it yet.
Really enjoyed the unknown side quest.
Get a guide.
I did it without a guide. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed running around, but I was doing it as the game progressed. Like as soon as I got the ability to, I was searching for all of them.
I probably have found like 10 of them without a guide.
I found like 1.
I liked the hide and seek aspect of the unknown. I think it was really, really well put together. Like side quest without being a side quest.
Yeah. Speaking of side quests, have y'all found any that's like your favorite side quests that you've done yet or anything? Like, what did y'all think about a lot of the side quests?
I liked the ones with the farming, where you could you catch a Pokemon of a certain type for the farmland. I liked that they just showed up in the town after you finish the quest.
So you can
I liked all the quests where you could add more Pokemon to the town.
And you can swap those out too. So like I was tempted because they needed a ground type. I gave him my regular Graveler because I had trained him a little bit and I just slotted my shiny Graveler into the Pokedex. I organized my boxes by number, so I just slotted him where the regular Graveler does. I was this tempted to go back and replace it with a Steelix just to see a Steelix, like an Alpha Steelix roaming around the fucking town.
I agree with you guys. I feel like the Wurmple quest was really fun because you got to see the Wurmple evolve over time. I knew where it was going basically as soon as you nicknamed it with like the Beautifly in mind. I'm like, oh dude, I've got a bad news for you.
It's a Duscot.
It's a Duscot. I think that side quest was really good. Aside from that, none of them really stick out in my mind. There's the one girl who keeps getting lost in all the different areas, which is okay. I feel like most of them were just like, hey, here, do a real quick fetch quest for me. Do the fetch quest and it's done. I would like a little bit more love. The Manaphy quest, though, was incredible.
Okay, yeah. The Manaphy quest, I have a small issue with. It's the fact that in order to know what to do, you have to reference Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl.
In the age of the internet, my friend, you do not need to reference Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl if you don't want to. But that being but then is really cool.
Yeah, that being how you're supposed to do it. Well, if I didn't get those games, it kind of breaks the immersion out of it.
I mean, Pokemon has always had stuff like that, where there were always Pokemon that you couldn't get without either trading or having a certain edition of a different game. This is not new territory.
Well, I would have had it more be like from the original games instead of the new remake versions, like be the original Diamond.
Hard to make something, especially because it seemed like they really wanted to use Overquill for that quest.
Yeah.
And they really wanted to hint at like, oh, hey, there's going to be a new Quillfish in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. But it would have been really hard to do that, 10 years apart?
Also, they don't sell DSs anymore, and they don't sell Diamond and Pearl anymore. So, like, just the availability of the old games. Played a factor.
Okay, let's hold on there, because me doing this quest isn't going to make me go, oh, I'm going to go buy Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl now.
I think it's just a way to reward people for being involved in their franchise.
Well, maybe they should make their fucking remakes better.
Remake was fine for me.
Yeah.
They didn't do anything! It's a remaster!
Still enjoyable.
Your Pokemon follow you around. That is worth it, my friend.
Watching Spiritomb struggle to keep up with me was fantastic.
Speaking
of Spiritomb, you want to talk about Spiritomb?
Speaking
I did not like that side quest.
I loved it.
Did not like that side quest.
I was going to say that was the best side quest.
Go find 100 different spots
Yeah.
No.
I think it was a
No.
good replacement for. I wish you didn't have to do it to beat the game, basically.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
complete
true.
your decks to get Arceus. I wish it would have been like a nice little reward, or like just not being counted towards the decks.
Yeah.
Because
Or
some
maybe
of them were pretty hard to find.
maybe it gives you a shiny Spiritomb. Like that would have
Yeah,
been,
that would be cool.
that would have been like a better thing. Maybe you can,
Or an alpha. It
Yeah.
would maybe like an alpha spawn
True.
specifically tied to this one.
yeah,
Knows a special move, anything.
just
But
something a
that
little
being
extra.
said, it gave me a reason to run around and explore. That's how I found most of my shinies, was when I was wisp hunting.
Yeah, wisp hunting was the highs and lows of this game for me, because there are times where I was like, all right, cool, I'm finding all these wisps as I'm going through the place and everything, and I'm like, all right, where didn't I look? And then I would go to there and I would be able to see it at night and everything. Then there are times where I'm like, all right, I need one more fucking wisp. Where the fuck is this stupid thing? Explicit tag.
Yeah, I wish there was a better tracker for keeping track of what wisps you had. Like, I wish they gave you a tracker like they gave you for the Unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Because having to go back to Jubilife to talk to the girl, I didn't even realize you could do that until I only had 2 left that could not for the life of me figure out where they were.
Oh, yeah, I didn't talk to her until I found them all, and then I got all these rewards. I'm like, oh shit. Well, this would have been nice earlier on.
I feel like something to assist in finding, if you're going to make it a requirement, some way to assist in finding them would have been helpful, or just not make it a requirement to fill the decks. That being said, did enjoy flying around trying to get all the wisps.
All right, one more side quest that we can mention before we move on. What about the getting new items in the shop side quest? How'd y'all feel about that one and the payoff?
That
of
was a
one?
fun little story. It was fun.
Yeah,
I was
that and the all the clothing side quests were pretty enjoyable.
Oh yeah, those were really cool. But the shopping side quest, I was so bitter at the end of it whenever I found out this is why you're not fucking selling them. This is it? Really? You made me do all this shit for that. Fuck you. It made me side with the shopkeeper.
For
I
sure.
think you're supposed to side with the shopkeeper.
Yeah.
Oh, guy's an asshole.
But like halfway, like the second or third mission, he hints, oh, he did something to me that that can never be undone. And I'm just like, oh god, what the fuck happened? And everything.
Or
he
you
fucking
could
married
just-
his daughter.
You
His
could
granddaughter.
just not do the item side quests in the shops, and instead you can craft your items. What'd y'all think of the
Yeah.
crafting mechanic?
I liked the crafting mechanic. I thought it was an interesting way to make full use of the open world in Pokemon, and it saved me a shit ton of money. With how much you have to use Pokeballs in this game, it's way better than having to buy them.
It's very
like
bare
that.
bones, and I think it's a good base for if they want to enhance on it in the
Going
future.
forward.
Everything is very visual, and like the picture that it shows you is exactly what the picture of the item you need is, so you can go find it no matter where it's at. Everything, it's really easy. Making Pokeballs was very easy, and I like how it didn't require different components. The higher the Pokemon tier goes, it just required more of what you already had, which was good, so that it didn't make it to where, oh, I have a stack of this many Tumblestones, but I don't use Pokeballs anymore because they're weaker than Great Balls, so I just hold on to this and I never have to use it again. Instead, it's, oh, sweet, I can use two of these Tumblestones to make a Great Ball instead of one to use a Pokeball, and the Great Balls are better. So I thought
You just
that
had
was
to
a good
grind
idea.
for iron.
I never really found
So much
myself
iron.
like needing any major resources. I would craft where I could, but for the most part I would just buy a lot of the items that I needed, because I felt like more efficient a lot of the time, because otherwise I would be running out of iron.
Vivid chokes are so fucking scarce. Jesus
exactly.
Christ.
That's why I buy revives.
I don't think I bought almost anything from the store. I
Yeah.
crafted pretty much everything.
The only money I spent in this game was giving it to
Yes.
the guy that makes me carry more in my bag, and I'm up to 100,000 for my next upgrade, and I don't know when it stops.
I don't think it does. I think it's keeps going.
As long as you have
I saw a post on the internet for it was like $1 million to upgrade to the next one. So at least goes that high. Like $1 million to upgrade to the
No.
next one. It's insane.
No.
How did y'all feel the bag space? Did it affect you at all? Because I felt myself running
Yeah.
out of bag
I
space
ran
a
out
lot
so
because
much.
I was picking up
That's
so many
why I
items.
spent so much money up in my bag space.
Well, I upped my bag space, and then I actually reorganized my inventory. I decided, okay, here are like the 12 items I'm going to keep on me at all times. Everything else, all the ingredients, I'm just going to throw into my chest any chance I get. So I didn't find myself crafting in the field a whole lot. I only did it when it was like super necessary, or I wanted to clear out some items in my inventory. Most of the times when I did my crafting, it was at the campsites where you had access to all the items inside your chest.
Yeah, that's what I did.
I want to just say, one of the most satisfying things in this game is taking a gigaton ball and thwomping something in the head with it to catch it.
Sneaking up behind it and just nailing it.
Yeah, it's like, it's almost equivalent to like sneaking up behind it with a crowbar and just fucking whacking it over the head. That's what it feels like. Because like if you get the backstabs or the backstab sound, you've done damage to him. You have injured this poor being, and it's just great. But you throw your Pokemon out to get resources at almost anything you see. Anything in this game is interactable if you throw your Pokemon out with it.
I like just throwing my Pokemon out and like hanging out with them. If you press A and B when you're talking to them, you can like nod your head or shake your head and actually have like a conversation with them. It's very funny. I really enjoyed the different interactions that way as well.
I spent like 5 minutes hanging out with Apoms that I just threw a couple berries on the ground and like just watched them eat, and I was just chilling. It was just nice.
It's a really relaxing game. It's a lot less focused on battle than other Pokemon games, so it was a lot more of a vibing situation, which I liked.
We didn't really talk about the Pokedex and how you fill up the Pokedex, completing different research tasks and stuff.
You catch them all, guys.
You gotta catch a lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
It definitely matched the vibe of the game, which was we're just learning what Pokemon are. It's a lot more in the past, whereas like in the newer games, you're completing entries in a Pokedex, but you really like everything's digital. Everybody knows what all the Pokemon are. And this one, you're building the Pokedex.
I really enjoyed the fact that it felt like actual research. We were actually learning about these Pokemon, how they interact with the world. Closer to the end of the game, because I'm going through and kind of completing the Dex entries as I get them, with my main hope being I've completed all the Dex entries before I go into Arceus. That was my thought, how I wanted to handle it. So I would be grinding for a while before actually fighting them. Not perfecting the entries per se, but just getting into that level 10 research level.
Yeah.
I think it's great. Yeah, I really, really like learning, making it feel like you're actually doing the research and putting in the work to learn about these creatures.
It's definitely a unique approach to a Pokemon game. And in fact, probably just like games in general. I don't know any game that requires you to like just research stuff and like you actually have to learn this much about things in order to actually have them be considered research or fully researched before you can pass it off and go on to the next one and everything. It's really unique experience.
And little did you know that the more you learn about these Pokemon, the more likely they appear as shiny. As you complete the Pokedex entries, it increases your shiny rolls. So if you get like a level 10 research level, you get a second roll to see if it's shiny. If you perfect the entry, you get 4 rolls, I believe, to see if it's shiny. So it just increases your odds exponentially. So, by the way, in case you didn't know, and that's not if there's a shiny charm in the game, which I think you get by getting the level 10 research on every single Pokemon, but that's going to be way on down the line.
I'm about halfway there.
Let's talk about bosses.
We want to go in order of the bosses. I think that seems appropriate.
Yeah.
Kleavor.
The first time that we see an actual proper boss battle in the Pokemon franchise, we are fighting Kleavor. How did y'all do? What did y'all think?
I'm just going to start out by saying that I did not wipe on a single boss battle until Avalon.
I wiped several times going like in. I feel like it increased the further I got in. Yeah. I think I did okay on Kleavor, and then it just went downhill.
I wiped once on Arcanine and a couple of times on Avalon, and a lot fighting Dialga, Palkia.
Yeah, Dialga kicked my ass repeatedly.
Wait, were they a boss battle?
Yeah, the second one. The second one you fought.
Fuck, I don't even remember that one. Jesus, I blazed through that then.
It hurt. It kept doing like AoE and pulses, and I died so many times. But Kleavor, I felt he wasn't too hard because there was like a tree, and all of his attacks are like line attacks, so you can just kind of dodge around the tree.
Yeah, he does like a series of chops. They have very light targeting on you. Like he will curve a little bit on it, but not much. And it was a nice little introduction and everything. But I didn't have any problems with it. It was just a good introduction.
I really appreciated that the boss battles in this game were all new Pokemon too.
Yes.
Like they were all the new forms, so we actually got to see them in battle. And I know I mentioned earlier with Lilligant, but a lot of the times, since they have very obscure evolution methods, the first time you'll ever see them is in these boss battles. So I was completely off guard by Lilligant. Made me fall in love with the new Lilligant evolution, as well as like the Arcanine I thought was cool, but I thought just introducing a Pokemon that way and then making you fight it was really, really fun. And the fights give off so much personality. You see that, Kleavor is this very strong, I'm going to hit you, I know I can hit you, and I'm going to hit you just head on. Meanwhile, Lilligant's just doing a show. She's dancing around.
Yeah, she's very graceful, and it's more of a performance than it is a fight.
Electrode's just blown the fuck up.
He's
Electrode
just
fucking
mad.
sucked. Those homing attacks were so brutal. It got to the point where I just had to tank a couple hits so I could get some hits in.
So
Arcanine.
So yeah,
was
we went
just
into Cleaver.
very good.
Lilligant, she did she would jump and let out a shockwave, or she would what was the other attack? It was something with like the music notes or something like that, right?
Yes, I think she would fire off like little music notes that would hit you.
Yeah, that one was a really good one. Then Arcanine, you were stuck on this like little X platform that had like these little like outcroppings at each of the points that you could.
I wish you could have fallen into the lava.
Oh my
I know
God.
they don't want to burn a child alive. I get it, Nintendo. I get it, Game Freak. No killing kids.
Yeah.
You wanted to kill a kid so bad in this game, though. Why not let us jump into lava?
Arcanine was like, I found it was really easy. I didn't die once. I found like a little spot that I could be where like he just couldn't hit me. He wasn't charging directly at me. They did not have the same experience as me.
I found that spot on my second.
I got cornered by Arcanine into that little spot. It got trapped in that corner. It didn't start dashing across still. It just looked at me and kept hitting me specifically. And
man. So Arcanine would do like a fire dash, and then like this was the first one I think that introduced like a charge up thing where like these orbs spawn around the boss, and you have to hit him a number of times before it dispels the attack. Then you can throw your Pokemon out and fight it or anything. But if that attack goes off, it does more damage than a regular hit does. Let's say you have, like, I think you probably had like 5 health or something like that. You could take 5 hits or something, somewhere around there.
About right, yeah.
Like, if you got hit by that, it usually took like 2 or 3. And like I know I got hit once on one of the fights. I got hit by the charge up attack again, and I was already blinking red. And I'm like, oh shit, that's strong.
They made the bosses feel very strong. Like normally in Pokemon boss battles, like even legendaries and stuff, you send out your team, but your team is so good by that point, it feels kind of meh to fight legendaries and stuff. But with these, it made them feel more powerful and impactful to the story when you're like having to run around and try not to die fighting this thing.
And in the regular games, whenever you go into these boss battle, these legendary fights and everything, you go in with the thought like, okay, I'm gonna catch it and everything.
Yeah.
You go into these boss battles, you cannot catch this Pokemon.
Nope, you are fighting for your life is what you're doing. I really, really enjoyed it. I feel like it's a good first step. I cannot wait to see how if they choose to stick with this legend style gameplay, how they will evolve the battle system or the boss battle system. Definitely a really good start. I enjoyed being able to dash around and use myself and throw the bombs at it. I wish there was a little bit more variety to what you could do when you were attacking, and I wish you could use your Pokemon, if not to openly attack them, just as like a distraction or something to just like add another level of just being able to move around or attack or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Electrode. It took me a second to learn Electrode. I got down to 1 hit away on Electrode before I finally figured out how to play it, and I had to play the entire rest of that fight flawlessly, and I did it. And I have never sweated more in a Pokemon game than I think I did during the Electrode fight. Electrode is fucking fast, and he's brutal. He will annihilate your health bar quickly.
Yeah, you kind of just have to not attack for the longest time. You just run around avoiding the homing missiles until he explodes, and then you can get some hits on him and send out your Pokemon.
Yeah, it's much more of a paced fight than I think some of the other ones were.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it very much, but it was rough for sure.
All right, then we got Avalugg. Avalugg was the first time I wiped once on him. Avalugg. There's one series of attack that he does that it requires you to be frame perfect on the first one, just so that you have enough frames to mess up by the time he's finished doing this chain of attack for you not to get hit. And if you're not perfect on that first one, you will not have enough time to do your input to be able to dodge. You will take a hit at some point during that combo.
Avalugg was so big. The noble Avalugg was massive.
Yes.
He is
this guy.
He is the iceberg that sunk the Titanic.
Yes. Oh man, I really like the scale of it because obviously you're dealing with this massive Avalugg, but the platform you're on is so tiny in comparison. You're fighting this beast with like a foot of room in any given direction.
Yeah. The platform itself was probably like a quarter of the surface area of the top of the Avalugg itself.
It was like the size of his head.
Yeah.
Honestly. And I think that's what made the battle so challenging is you didn't have any room to maneuver. You were just kind of dodging back and forth, getting to the edge of the platform every time you dodged. It had a very epic feeling battle because he was so big and it was so frantic. It felt very good to beat him.
I also want Nintendo to be okay with killing kids, have us go into lava. I would have loved to have not had an invisible wall there that prevents you from falling off that platform for that fight. That would have made it would have just made it so much harder and like a really good challenge. I think that would have like really made this boss battle like stand out more than it already did.
Dark Souls or Shadow of the Colossus style vibes.
Oh,
just this giant creature there to destroy you.
I think we all had issues with Avalugg, and it was the first, like, real, like, oh, shit, okay, this is something. This could be, like, they can do this with, like, so many Pokemon, and, like, imagine a boss battle with, like, something that's super fast, like if it was a Sneasler, like, if they did do a Sneasler fight, like, you would have to be on your toes the entire time, and I just can't.
I'm just dreaming of, like, a proper Regieleki fight.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine, like, because this thing's incredibly fast, it can just zip, 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 zip. Proper destroy you.
Oh yeah, like I want another game with boss fights like this, and I want them to be able to throw like any Pokemon they want at me.
I want to fight the Gen 3 legendaries like this. I want to fight Kyogre. I want to fight Groudon. I want to fight Rayquaza because they're all going to be on that Avalugg scale.
Imagine like a giant Rayquaza like dragon battle.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yes.
They've got a lot of really good potential they could do with this.
Yeah.
Franchise.
All right, then after the Avalugg battle, we went into the legendary, the Pokémon Dialga boss fight. I do not remember this one, apparently. It was a fever dream.
Everyone bought Dialga then, right? Because everyone went with Irida for their choice?
Yeah.
Get fucked, Palkia. You've got a very goofy form.
The boss fight is the same either way. It's just a different Pokemon doing it. So it doesn't change the fight. This was the hardest one.
Good fight. This was a really, really fun fight. The cinematic leading up to it made it feel so much more intense than it would have otherwise.
Oh yeah,
but even without the cinematic, the scale of this creature just towering above you, incredible.
All right, and then into the one that only I can talk about because I'm the only one that's done it. This is probably why I don't remember the Dialga fight. It's because the Arceus fight kicked my ass. The Arceus fight is tough. I think I died 3 times on it, which I think is a pretty good accomplishment. First of all, I think all of his attack, I think you get hit 3 or 4 times, you're out. Like, it's not the usual 5. I think you have less health going into this one. He has...
Makes sense, you're trying to fight God, I get it.
Yeah, he lets out a combo of attacks like Avalugg does, that you have to be, like, almost near perfect on in order to dodge. And it's, every attack is a chain of those attacks. So he has these like homing missiles that come in on you that you have to dodge for one attack. Another one is a shockwave with, after you dodge the shockwave, wherever you are at that point, a Draco meteor comes down. So you have to dodge again. And you have like a second before the next wave comes out, and then another Draco meteor comes. And then that's only phase 1. Phase 2, he turns a different color, like red. I guess it's like an angry form or something. And then he summons like 3 of his clones. You have to go to one of the clones, the one that has like a circle ring on it, because he makes the entire floor blow up unless you're in this ring that he is in. And so whenever the clones is, you have to select which clone is the right one before the floor blows up and damages you. That phase also has Shadow Force as an attack, where he just disappears randomly, and then you just hear like a slight glass break, and you turn and you see just this little, like, if you've ever seen Doctor Strange, the mirror dimension, you see something like that, and then he just smashes through it and comes charging straight at you. Then he does his like charge attack, which I did not, nor do I ever want to see what that attack was, because I stopped it before it happened. I made sure I was always there to stop that attack before it happened, because he starts charging, you have to hit him a bunch of times before it does. And then whenever you throw out your Pokemon, he's faster than you. He immediately summons one of his plates, transforms to the type you're weakest against, and attacks you with Judgment. And your Pokemon dies, and then you send out another one, and you get to attack. So you're guaranteed to lose one Pokemon for every time you fight him with your Pokemon.
I love that, because I have always found Arceus to be kind of underwhelming as a Pokemon. It's just a normal type legendaries are always meh.
Yeah.
The fact that they make him trouble to deal with, I like.
Yeah.
He should feel more powerful.
It was definitely the hardest boss fight in this game, and I love the fact that they put it at the end of the game, like after you completed the Pokedex and everything. It was definitely worth going through, catching Spiritomb, going through. You don't have to catch all the unknowns, luckily. You just need to catch one of them. going through completing the Pokedex and everything, finding goddamn Cleffa, who was the last one that I completely forgot that Pokemon existed in this game, because I mean, a baby, baby. Yeah, baby Pokemon are hard to find in this game, and so yeah, like it definitely made everything up to it worth it, and Elden Ring has its work cut out for it to try and make boss battles that are as good as that one, so I'm excited for it. As a closing thoughts, I want to ask y'all, what is y'all's favorite moment from the entire game?
Ooh, okay, give me a hot minute. Do you have one already?
Mine? So, Gen 4 is the gen I played the most. I've probably played Diamond and Pearl like twice, but then I got Platinum, and I played Platinum probably like 5 or 6 times through. I loved everything about Giratina the Distortion World. The cinematic where you see Giratina standing behind Volo and everything is probably the most like chills on my spine I've gotten playing a Pokemon game. I'm like, holy shit, that's my guy. That is the Pokemon I like. I think Giratina is my favorite legendary. Maybe Rayquaza being higher than him, being the only one higher than him. And seeing Giratina like cinematically and like how fucking cool they made him look and everything. Mwah. That was the icing on the cake. That was my favorite part of the entire game.
There was a moment not too far, right after you get Weird Ear, where you're just running around exploring this area before you go into your first boss battle. And I had that realization I mentioned earlier where, I'm playing the Pokemon game I always thought I was playing as a kid. And it felt so nice to finally be able to do that. My second one would definitely be just prior to the final boss battle when Dialga comes out and just levels Spear Pillar. That was so cool. I really enjoyed that you got to see the what happened to Spear Pillar, what made it look the way it looked in the original Gen 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
And a really, really well done cinematic.
I also have 2. My first one was very similar to Walker's. When you first get to the open world, and it's just you and your Pokemon and a wide world of other Pokemon running around, and you get to go catch them, it just felt more like a Pokemon experience than any other Pokemon game I felt, even though the other ones are the definitive Pokemon experiences. That emotion was pure nostalgia injected right into my veins. This other one was when you collect the 3 lake Pokemon, Mesprit, Uxie, and Azelf, and they make the red chain. That retroactively made Diamond and Platinum better, because like in Diamond and Platinum there's this whole quest line about the 3 lake Pokemon, and they do the red chain, and it's all very underwhelming. Like, it felt like it didn't do anything for me in the originals, because Cyrus collects them and chains Dialga and he immediately breaks out of it, and it doesn't matter at all.
Right.
And this one, it was like, oh, this is what was supposed to happen. This is how it was actually working. I felt like I went and actually earned the trust of each of them instead of just running around the lakes and nothing happening.
Not expecting to answer an actual quiz for Uxie. When the
Yeah.
in-game keyboard popped up, I'm like, oh, whoa, okay.
The eyeball question? Yeah.
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 How'd y'all do on that? Did y'all get it right? Did y'all have to look it up?
It took me a second.
I messed it up the first time, but I got it the second. I think I missed one of the Pokemon or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I miscounted Combi. I forgot that it had...
I'd also miscounted Combi.
It had 3 faces. It had 3 faces.
I liked the willpower one, where you just keep trying to catch it forever and ever, even after it tells you to give up. That was a great moment.
I almost got it.
Yeah.
Like, there was one time where I was like, it's going to be right there. And I threw it, and it was like just to the right of him. And I'm just like, gosh! I thought it was like a mad, you had to predict them kind of thing.
It made them feel more aligned to their domains. Like, it gave them more personality than just, this one's yellow, this one's blue, this one's pink. So I enjoyed that series of moments very much.
All right. Well,
what are we playing next week? Or next month? I keep saying week. We're not binging a game in a week. What are we doing next month?
Well, we've already talked about it a couple times. We've mentioned it here. Elden Ring comes out in 2 days for us. We are recording this on the 20th. And Elden Ring comes out in 2 days. And this is going to be pretty interesting, because I think I'm the only one that's played a Souls-like in this group, huh? Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't played any of the Dark Souls. I played Jedi Fallen Order, the Star Wars game. I heard
I played Jedi Fallen Order.
Similar.
It has similar things.
So I've got an idea,
okay,
but I've never touched any of the Soulsborne games, so I've got no idea.
So, listeners, heads up, I'm going to be playing on the easiest mode, and I'm probably going to take the longest to finish, because I'm very bad at this type of game.
I don't know if there's a difficulty setting. There's not in Dark Souls, bud.
I might not complete it by the time of our
It'll be
podcast.
Arceus all over again. It'll be.
I'll be
oh,
like,
well,
hey guys, I'm still on the first boss, so
Join us next month where there will be me and 2 broken men.
yes.
But anyway, I want to thank y'all for joining us today. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. We are the Joystick Frequency. It's at the Joy Freak, or it's Joystick Freak. I don't know. We'll get that right at some point. It'll be in the description anyway. If you're listening on Spotify, what's the other ones? iTunes.
whatever podcast service you're using to check us out right now, give us a follow. It helps. Give us a like. Comments are lifesavers.
Yeah.
Please.
If you watch this one and you have any, you have a question you want us to answer about Elden Ring, do it. You are now a part of the book club as well, so be sure to play through Elden Ring, and we can all have a nice discussion about it next time.
Any comments come in, if y'all want to talk about Pokemon too, send us a message or comment. Let us know, and we'll talk about them beginning of next show.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for us, I think, guys. Thank y'all for tuning into the Joystick Frequency. Catch y'all later.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.